Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. I hope you're having a fantastic day so far. If you are new here, then welcome. My name is Millie and I make videos just like this all the time. I am always testing out new makeup, discovering brands that I've never used before, and that is exactly what we are doing today. I have never tried any products from Wet n Wild before, and I'm just throwing myself in at the deep end, doing a full face, all from Wet n Wild. So let's just dive straight on in. I went on the Boots website and I basically picked up one from each category. So we're just gonna do a full face, starting with a tinted moisturiser. So this is the Wet n Wild Bare Focus Tinted Hydrator. This says that it is a tinted skin veil and I love the sound of that. I really enjoy like a light to medium coverage base product for every day. I have quite a lot of redness. I don't know if it's coming up on the camera. I don't know if I've used something different in my skincare routine this morning. I can't remember, but my skin is feeling especially red today. So there's some extra coverage needed potentially, but I'm excited to see how this will work. So obviously I've already done my morning skincare routine and I'm just going to go straight in with this. I got this in the shade Fair. I can't remember how many shades of this there were. I remember I tried to get the foundation that's in like the glass jar, but by the time I went to the checkout it had sold out in the shade that I wanted, so I went back and picked this one up instead. I'm going to start with that much product. The colour looks good. That looks like a very good colour for me, and I'm going to use the Expert Face Brush from Real Techniques. I'm going to just... That's more coverage than what I was thinking it was going to be. So on the back of the packaging here it says this lightweight perfector delivers hydrating benefits in a buildable sheer to medium tint for a flawless, soft, luminous complexion. Hyaluronic acid and plant-derived squalene help to promote healthy, supple and moisturised skin, and that is exactly what I need, isn't it? So much dryness, but also like my skin needs all of the like skincare benefits at the minute. So I'm just going to keep buffing this in. Let's see how buildable it is. Okay, so that's one coat all over. That's all of the products that I had on the back of my hand there. I feel like it's knocked back the redness a little bit. Potentially when I have less sensitivity and less redness in my skin, this would be an alright amount of coverage. However, I am feeling very red still across the cheeks, so I'm going to go in with just a little bit more and see how well it builds up. It says that it's buildable, so let's see. I would say that that's definitely laid on top of itself really nicely. I don't feel like perhaps today was the best day to test a new foundation or like base product because my skin was so red and so sensitive, but I feel like that looks fine. Considering the base that it was going on to, I do like how that looks, and I am taking into consideration the fact that like tomorrow my skin will look completely different, so this will look better if I were to wear it tomorrow when there wasn't all of that redness. However, I am going to go in with concealer. I'm going to put this around my eyes, and I will also just put a tiny little bit more across the cheeks. So this is the Photo Focus Concealer. I got this in the shade Fair Beige, and I think that this colour will be pretty much perfect for me. Let's see what the wand is like. Just a standard doe foot applicator. Absolutely nothing wrong with that. It's quite small though. That is like a lot smaller than a usual concealer wand. Not a plus or a negative, just saying. I do feel like I'm not getting very much product out with each dip. Like I wouldn't normally have to dip back in for each under eye, but I am having to there. Oh, it's got quite a strong smell. That smells like an alcoholic beverage, and not in a good way. I'm not sure I like that applicator. That feels like a lot of work to get not a lot of product out on each dip in. It feels quite thick as well, like it could possibly be very full coverage. So let's see. That concealer looks amazing. That is like the perfect amount of coverage for me. It's not too like hydrating where it looks really oily on my skin, but it feels really comfortable. It doesn't feel really heavy. I was a little concerned that would feel a bit heavy just with how it was feeling from the applicator, but I think that that looks really nice. I do have some redness around the corner of my mouth, so I'm just going to add a little bit there. Don't mind that eye looking a little bit red. I've just pulled a hair about this long out of it. But for the base products, considering at first I was not expecting that tinted moisturiser to do anything, the skin feels lovely. I feel like it's looking really nice and glowy, but not in an oily way. It just feels really nice and hydrated. It doesn't feel heavy. Nothing feels too much. This is looking really, really nice. I'm really, really enjoying how both of those are working together. So next up, for bronzer, I don't think I saw a powder bronzer. I think they had like contour sticks, but I thought I would pick up the powder. So this is the Mega Glow Contouring Palette, and this is in the shade Dulce de Leche, and I think this was just the lightest one that they had on the Boots website. So there's the powder bronzer, and then like I assume some sort of like setting powder. Would you use that as a highlight? Possibly. I think that that's like very close to my skin tone, so I would maybe just use that as a setting powder. But let's go in with the Real Techniques blush brush. I'm just going to dip into that contouring powder. No idea how pigmented this is, how much I need to be loading up onto my brush, but let's go with a few dips. For a contouring powder, that feels quite warm to me. Anyone else? Which I don't mind, because I generally don't use contour. I would use just a bronzer, so I feel like that is quite a good shade for me actually. That colour is actually perfect for what I like to use a lip bronzer for. I like to keep it a little bit further down and keep it like in the hollows of my cheeks, and also bring it up onto the cheeks. So I like it to have enough coolness to do like the contoury thing in the hollow of my cheekbone, but I also want it to warm up the skin, so it needs to be like that perfect balance, and I feel like that is the perfect shade for me anyway, for what I like a bronzer to look like on my skin. It's blended out really, really easily. It's not too pigmented, but it's also not low enough in pigment that I feel like I had to build that up so much that it would become tiresome to do that like regularly. I feel like that looks perfect. I'm going to leave this highlighter shade for now. I do have a highlight. If I feel like I need to set anywhere at the end, I will come back to that, but for now I feel like that looks just about right. So I have a powder blush as well. So this is the Colour Icon powder blush in the shade Pinch Me Pink. So that is what that colour is looking like close up. It has the most subtle little glittery reflect in it. I'm interested to see how this is going to look on the skin, because I don't want anything that's going to look too chunky. However, one of my favourite blushes at the minute, the Collection Glow blushes, they have a little bit of shimmer in them and I absolutely love them. So same brush, I'm gonna tap in lightly. Obviously I don't want too much of this either, because my skin is already like, it already looks quite flushed. So a little bit of that we'll tap off and then let's see how this looks. That is the perfect amount of glow for me. Can you see the difference? So I've just sort of put it here, a little bit higher up and a little bit further back, because I don't want anything like in the centre. I don't generally put blush further in on my cheeks anyway, but keeping this a little bit higher up because it has that glow in it as well. I really, really like this. They had a few different shades. This one spoke to me. Again, blending out really, really nicely, not too pigmented. I did manage to build that up in a couple of layers. I really, really like that. Will also say all of these Wet n Wild things, I think I got everything here for like £40. Like, it was really, really affordable. I am a really, really big fan of that blush. I think that that looks beautiful. For an everyday basis, I probably wouldn't wear a highlight with this. However, I got one of the highlighters. I've seen so much about these online. I had to pick one up, and we all know I like to be seen from outer space. So this is the Wet n Wild Mega Glow Highlighting Powder in the shade Precious Petals. Let me just rip into this and I'll show you it close up. I mean, just look at that highlight. It looks incredible. I am so excited to get this on my face. So taking my regular highlighting brush, let's just dip into this. Don't know how much I need, again. I'm just guessing. I'll tap off the brush just in case, but I do want to be seen from outer space. Oh, that colour. Yeah, that is like liquid metal. I love it. Oh, I love it. The only thing is, this was the lighter of the two shades, and it is potentially a little bit dark. I think in summer this will be perfect for me. It's maybe a little dark for me at my palest, most wintry shade, which is obviously what I am now, but I love that. It looks so smooth on the skin. It doesn't look like there isn't a single piece of glitter. It just looks like molten. That's so pretty. I'm going to just tap over the top of that highlight with a little bit more of that blush, just to try and blend it in a little bit. I feel like when I look forward, you can sort of see that colour a little bit on the top of my cheeks, which isn't generally the vibe that I go for, but when it catches the light, that is incredible. Okay, so for the brows, I got the Ultimate Brow Retractable Brow Pencil, and this is in the shade Medium Brown. So it's just one that's a sort of triangular teardrop shape at the end. Got a brush, a spoolie on the other end, which is always very helpful. You always need one. So I'm going to try and fill in these brows. Be right back. First impression, that was very, very easy to do. The firmness of the actual product makes it quite easy to make those little hair-like strokes, but it is also quite easy to just fill in like the whole tail fairly easily. I like it so far. Yeah, first impressions, really, really like that. I feel like now I'm looking in the viewfinder, they are not at all equal. Let me just fill this one in a little bit more. Sometimes it's hard to tell when you're looking like in a mirror that's quite close to you, and then when you look in one that's further away, you're like, they are not even related, let alone sisters not twins. Yeah, I feel like that's a really great colour for me. It's the perfect amount of not too firm, not too soft. The spoolie is really nice as well. I did just sort of brush through the front to soften it down a little. I don't have a brow gel, so I will just quickly go in with the brow gel from my project pan. This is the XX Revolution brow gel, just the clear one. Just want to fluff up these front ones a little bit, and I feel like that is a really good brow day for me. It is potentially a little bit warmer than what I usually do. However, with my warmer hair, I feel like that looks really nice. I like it. So for the eyes, I have a single eyeshadow. I also have an eyeliner pencil. By the way, this eyeliner pencil is like the size of my whole head. Like, in comparison to a normal pencil, it's absolutely huge. I don't know why it's so big. It didn't look that big on the listing. However, I don't mind because it will obviously always come in handy. So this is the Colour Icon Kohl eyeliner. This is just in the brown shade. Simmer brown now. It's like simmer down, I assume. I don't know. That's just like a standard chocolatey warm brown, and then the single eyeshadow that I got. This is in the shade Brass, and look how incredible that glitter is. I'm hoping I don't need like a glitter primer because I haven't got one, so I'm just going to go in with a little bit of that powder, that bronzing powder, just on a big fluffy brush. Just want to put a little bit of that through my crease, and then I'll do the glitter, and then I'll do that eyeliner pencil. Or I might do the pencil first. I think I'll do the pencil first. So I'm going to take that colour icon pencil, and I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to like scribble it along the lash line, maybe wing it out a little bit because you know I always do, and then I might go in with like a dense brush and like smudge it out a little just to create like a smudgy wing. But let's get a brush first. A little something like that. That was very, very easy to do. I feel like it hasn't smudged out too much. You can still see the line, but it has obviously given a little bit of definition, and that's a really, really nice colour as well. It's just the right amount of like warm. I really, really like that. Yeah, there's absolutely nothing wrong with that pencil. I do generally prefer like a mechanical pencil. I just find it a little bit more convenient, but absolutely no complaints with that one. I'm going to keep that same little pencil brush out, and I'm going to use my finger, dip into the glitter. So like I say, this is in the shade Brass. No, I'm not going to need a glitter glue that has a like stickiness to it. Very, very pretty, and I just want a little bit. Have you ever heard me say that? I only want a little bit of glitter. I'm gonna tap that across the eyelid. It's glitter. It is glitter. I don't know if that's showing up on camera, but on this eye that I did first, that's laid down really, really nicely. It is fairly evenly spread out. I did use the same finger, but on this eye it's like not sticking. Like there's a few bits sort of in my crease there, but there isn't really anything on the lid. I don't know why that would be. I will try wiping my finger. I'll just take some of micellar water, residue or whatever left on my finger from the first eye, and then it's just not working on that second one. Let's give that another go. Yeah, that's working better. So you have to wipe your like hand off, wipe your finger off in between each application, but that's worked absolutely fine now. Weird, I don't know why that would do that. So this has like a stickiness to it. It's almost like it has the glitter glue like underneath the very top layer. I don't know if you can see what I mean, but it has the stickiness underneath the top layer. So once you touch it and it goes through to that second layer where that like adhesiveness is, that's like what's making it stick. So you wouldn't get any fallout with this necessarily. Is it my favourite? No. It's a really, really pretty colour. It was easy enough to apply. Is it the sort of thing that I would reach for over like one of my e.l.f. liquid glitters? Probably not. So for mascara, I do believe that this is a new release from Wet n Wild. So this is the Big Poppa Mascara. Bigger is better, it says on the top of the packaging. Really, really nice packaging. Feels really sturdy. Feels really like high quality for the price that I paid for it. So I'm going to apply quite a large amount of this. It has a natural bristled wand in almost like an hourglass shape. This is my preferred type of wand. I do like it when mascaras have a natural bristle. I just prefer it. I find that it gives more volume. I like a really thickened sort of verging on clumpy lash, and I'm hoping that this mascara is going to give me that. So I will apply a couple of coats and I will be right back. So I've just zoomed you in a little bit so that you can see the difference here between one layer all over the upper and lower lashes and two layers on the top lashes. I feel like it's gone a little bit clumpy. Even for me who likes a clumpy lash, I feel like that is a little bit clumpy for me. Maybe I just waited too long in between both layers, but I'm not entirely sold on this. I think maybe if I'd done the first layer and then gone in with the second layer while the first layer was still a little bit damp, because I did fully let that dry. I was distracted by my telephone, but I feel like currently it's not my favourite, but I will leave it in the description box down below. If I try this again before this video goes up, which I probably will, I will leave it down below what I think of this after I've used it a few times. Okay, but now I've done a second coat on this side and I feel like this eye looks great. So maybe it's just the lashes on this eye, not playing ball today. But I will leave it down below what I think of this after I've done like a full wear test. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to do a wear test today because it is already 20 to 8 in the evening, and realistically I'm going to be taking all of this makeup off pretty much as soon as I've stopped filming. So the last step is lipstick, and I've got two options here. So I have the Mega Last Mega Matte lipstick in Never Nude, and then I got the same formula but in the shade Skinny Dipping. So these look incredibly similar. That is what those are looking like. So this one is Never Nude and this one on the bottom is Skinny Dipping. Both very, very similar. But which do I want to use today? I think this one, Never Nude. I feel like that is more, a little bit warmer, more what will go with like the eyes and everything today. I will say the packaging for these is really, really cute. So the Wet n Wild logo is like embossed here, and then there's a metallic like little set of lips around the middle. The lid is clear so that you can actually see the colour without just having to remember which shade it is that you like. It does have like the shade name and everything down at the bottom, but I like that it has the clear bit on the top so that you can see what shade it is. So I don't have a lip liner, I'm just going to go straight in with this. I feel like I could have benefited from having a little bit of like lip gloss or something underneath that. It is feeling very matte. I mean, I know that it's a matte lipstick, but my lips are so dry along with all of my skin and everything, so that is feeling quite dry, but I completely got myself into that. The colour's really nice. I feel like that has just finished off the look nicely. I really like how all of that has turned out, despite that foundation looking like it was going to be, sorry, not foundation, tinted moisturiser, looking like that was going to be a nightmare. I feel like we've turned out quite well there. I'm not going to use, I was going to come back to that like highlighting setting powder in this duo. I'm not going to do that today because I feel like everything is looking absolutely fine. I'm not even going to add any more blush, and I always add more blush at the end. But let me know what you think. If there's any products from Wet n Wild that you think I need to try, then do definitely leave it down below. These are the only products that I've ever tried. This is my first dive into the brand and I am really, really impressed. I will of course keep on playing with all of these things, so if I have any more thoughts before I upload this video, I will leave it in the description box, and I will also leave it in the comment section so that you can find it very, very easily there. But until next time, thank you so much for watching. Bye.